Hey everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome to another edition of my Batman the Animated Series reviews. This time I'm going to be taking a look at episode number 47, Birds of a Feather. This episode is a Penguin-centered episode, and I think out of the Penguin episodes, I'd have to watch Blind as a Bat again, but I think this might be my personal favorite. Where it's just Batman and the Penguin. I think it's better than I've Got Batman in My Basement. And it presents an episode where it's kind of a tragic one. Basically, the Penguin decides he's going to reform himself. And there's these two people. There's this girl named Veronica, and then there's this guy named Pierce. And, you know, they're rich snobs, and they basically want the Penguin invited just to make her party more interesting. And Veronica is basically like, at first, you know, is hesitant, but then she kind of grows fond of the Penguin over the course of the episode. But Pierce is just like this obnoxious asshole, and Pierce is my favorite part of this episode. It's not the Penguin. They make him like the most rich and snooty, like almost like a parody of rich snooty people. He has this voice. He's like, "Oh, the Penguin. Oh, can you imagine the face of everyone when they find that bird?" And like every time he talks, I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. Hey, it's been 24 hours. He sounds kind of like Nick Cage trying to do a snobby voice. It's fucking hilarious. But the strongest points of this episode are the Penguin legitimately changing, and the episode presents a case like, you know, if Veronica did become friends with him, there's a really good chance that Oswald would have never went back in on his own like criminal activities. And I thought that was kind of neat. Like, what if she was nice to him, or what if she went to go see him in, you know, Arkham and try to like, you know, become friends with him from that point onward, and maybe from there, like, the Penguin can really start to change. Like, hey, I'm here on my own accord. I really do want to try to help you. I'm sorry for what they did. Initially it was this, but now it's kind of changed, like you were changing. That could have made for some really powerful storytelling down the road, but, you know, for what we got, it's still pretty good. There's some callbacks in this episode to Batman Returns. There's one moment where, Pierce is carrying his money, and then like he gets dropped into the sewer. I thought that, like, kind of like through the grate, kind of like how Max Schreck is in Batman Returns. I thought that was kind of funny. And you know, there's a couple little like Easter egg nods to this episode. I noticed something in like one of the. I paused the episode at like the if you want to check it, it's like the 16.5 minute mark. One of the streets is named like CLSHN and Parr, I think, like Frank Parr or whatever, like in where the directors, or the guy who directed this episode, like includes his name in the episode, so I thought that was kind of funny. I also noticed something else, like when he gets dropped in there and you see the sewer, it definitely does remind me of Batman Returns. And Pagliacci's in this episode, like the clown, who basically was seen in the first appearance of the Joker in the 60s show, where he's wearing the mask in that. And then he's also seen again in like the Dark Knights, the mask that the Joker wears when he's, you know, robbing the bank. But in the end, there's like this death trap that, you know, comes to be, and, you know, Batman saves everyone, and then at the end, you know, Veronica's like, you know, I was growing fond of you, and then the one guy, Pierce is like, who's like kind of stuck in like these metal like things strapped to his feet. He's like, careful, those shoes are expensive. So, I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, the final quote of the episode that, you know, is one you don't really forget. It's where she's like, I was growing fond of you, Oswald. And he's like, I suppose it's true what they say. Society is to blame. Hi, society. I thought that was a pretty good, you know, nice and powerful quote that Oswald did, like, at the end of the episode, thinking, like, you know what, maybe things were different, he could have been reformed, but at the end of the day, he wasn't, and, you know, unfortunately, like, this is the way things are going to be. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this review of Batman the Animated Series. Be sure to come back next time as I take a look at whatever episode is next. And I hear my phone ringing, which pisses me off when I'm recording, because it's ringing, and I'm going to cut it right here. I could edit this out, but I'm not going to. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.